Donald Trump had this campaign event in Pennsylvania today, and he really just stumbled through it. It was like this roundtable to talk about the economy, but there were some very strange moments during it, such as him doubling down on wanting to be a dictator, and also somebody professing to him about how they are a proud member of the MAGA cult. Just very strange all around. So I'm going to show you some clips from this campaign event. We'll talk about it a little bit. Let's just dive right in. So the first clip I want to show you is the most strange of the day. Donald Trump is obviously sitting there on the left side of your screen at the top of the table, or at least like in the center of the table. And on the right appear to be Trump supporters. And as you can see, there's a woman leaning into the microphone right now. She's about to say something. And she's just basically saying that she's a proud member of the Trump cult. And so is her entire family. Seriously. So let's just take a look at what she had to say.
Can you tell the story of your daughter?
Yes, I'm sorry. The last thing I wanted to say is my hardest job is not running 3 businesses. It's actually being a mom to a daughter that is here with me today, Caroline Ray. She's 16 years old. Right there. Would you just raise your hand, honey, so that Mr. President can see? She is right there. She is not in school today, and she asked that she could be here and she could see you. I'm doing everything that I can to try to give her the truth every day. And I just wanted to say, and I told you that 8 years ago when you were running, and she was just 8 years old then, every night she would go to bed and I would kneel on the floor next to her bed and we would pray every single night for you. And every night she would speak out to God and she would say, "Dear God, please let Mr. Trump win, please." And the night of the election, of course, she had to go to bed early because she was in school. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, when we finally knew that you had won, I went into her bedroom. I scooped her up out of her sound sleep, and I was literally tears pouring down. And I said, "Baby, Mr. Trump won, baby. He won, he won." And she said, "Thank you, God. Thank you, God." And so she is here with us today, and I just wanted to let you know that we are still praying for you.
Thank you very much. Well, it's almost more important today.
Oh my God. Wow. That's just really, really weird, isn't it? Look, honestly, when I hear stories like this, when I see like Trump supporters like this, like mothers or fathers talking about how they've brought their kids along for their support of Donald Trump, it's genuinely sad because her daughter right there, when she was 8 years old watching Donald Trump win the 2016 election, she doesn't know better, right? She's just listening to her parents and whatever her parents tell her regarding politics. Her parents are telling her that, hey, this Hillary Clinton is so evil and mean and Donald Trump is so great. So when Trump wins and this daughter is just like a very young person, a very young mind, she loves it. She's celebrating. But this mother has genuinely indoctrinated her kid into loving Donald Trump starting at age 8. Bringing her to Trump events at age 16. She's genuinely indoctrinated her kid into supporting Donald Trump. So that's first and foremost. It's very sad that this young person, she just made her love Donald Trump. But second of all, the cult is real. I mean, if this doesn't show you that the cult is real, I don't know what will. She's talking about praying on her child's bed for Donald Trump to win an election and then crying when he does. And still 8 years later, after Donald Trump has been found liable for assaulting a woman, found guilty on 34 different felonies by a jury of his peers, indicted in 3 other cases of which he's likely to be convicted if they ever go to trial, among the other terrible things he's done, such as mishandling a pandemic and trying to overturn an election he didn't win. After all of those things, she's sitting there today saying, "I cry for you, Donald. I pray for you, Donald. We're still today praying for you and hoping that you win." It's so weird. It's so strange. It's a cult of personality. They just love Donald Trump no matter what. And they're even indoctrinating their children, their poor kids, into loving Donald Trump. It's sad. It's genuinely sad that this is what many of these cult members do. They just worship this guy. And when I saw this, I got goosebumps. It was like my skin was crawling. I'm like, how can you love this guy? How can you love somebody that doesn't care about you, doesn't care about your family, doesn't care about your future, doesn't care about this country, doesn't care about anybody that's not named Donald J. Trump? How? How are you sitting there doing stuff like this? It's so weird. It's so weird. But the cult is alive and well. The cult is alive and well. And remember, this is a voter in Pennsylvania. She'll vote. So you got to make sure you do too. Her vote counts the exact same as all of ours do. So we got to get out there and vote. But I just had to show you this clip. It's so strange. It's so sad. It's so sickening that this is plagued our country for 8 years, and we have an opportunity to end this insanity in November. Let's make sure it happens. The next clip I want to show you is, as I mentioned, Donald Trump kind of doubling down on wanting to be a dictator with his policy. He's talking about implementing his tariff policy, his economic policy here, and he just says, like, yeah, I'm going to do it no matter what if I win. I don't need Congress. I'm just going to do it. So just take a look at what he had to say. Very, very concerning stuff.
Please. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Taylor Populars from Spectrum News. I've spoken with some economists about your proposal for tariffs, and they say they don't see how it will not make items cost more in the United States.
They'll approve it. They'll approve it. And number one, I don't need them. I don't need Congress, but they'll approve it. I'll have the right to impose them myself if they don't. I'd rather get their support. The ones that understand business all support it. I think David would be a very big supporter of the tariffs because you understand what's happening, right? David's a great business person, led a great company. No, the ones that understand business, they understand. You know,
Is that not just insane? Donald Trump is saying that he's going to impose these tariffs on goods coming into the United States, no matter what. No matter what. Whether Congress works with him on it or not. Now remember, tariffs only make things more expensive for the American people. Donald Trump claims that when we put a tariff on a country, it's a tax on that country and the country has to pay it. Wrong. The businesses here in the United States have to pay that tax, and they pass that tax down to the consumer, leading to price hikes and tax hikes for the American people. So Donald Trump is saying that he's going to implement this tax hike, which has been labeled as a $5 trillion tax hike by economists in different studies, without Congress, without any approval necessary. He's just going to do it himself alone. Insanity. Just a little bit more data on this. According to CAP, Donald Trump's plan would be an up to $3,900 tax increase for a typical American family. So what Donald Trump is saying right here is that if you're an average American family, you're working hard, you're just trying to put food on your table, a roof over your head, and live the life you want to live. Yeah, well, sorry, because of his weird delusional dream, he's going to give you a $4,000 tax increase and a tax hike on your family. Does that sound like anything that anybody wants? No. And Donald Trump saying, well, too bad if you don't want it. Sorry, if I win, it's happening. I apologize for my voice. I'm still a little bit under the weather, as you can tell. But he's saying it's happening whether you like it or not. Because even if Congress works with me, I don't care. I'm going to put it on anyway. That's what Donald Trump's saying here. He wants to be a dictator. He's saying he wants to be a dictator on day one. And then he's turning around saying, yeah, this whole checks and balances things we got, Congress can check the presidency and vice versa. Yeah, sorry, we're not doing that whole thing anymore. What I say goes. That's the dictator Donald Trump wants to be, and we have to stop it this November. So obviously this campaign event was a disaster for Donald Trump. There were other weird moments in this where he was proposing really bad policy, just terrible economic policy generally, but those two moments in particular really stuck out to me. You have this mother talking about how she practically indoctrinated her kid into the MAGA cult. Now she cries for Donald Trump in this very kind of awkward moment. And then you have Donald Trump doubling down on wanting to be a dictator. And I say no thank you. And I know you say no thank you as well. We don't want that. So make sure you're registered to vote and you get out there and vote. Make a plan to do it. Let's win this election for Kamala Harris. I mean, for God's sakes, let's get this guy out of politics once and for all. So anyway, I appreciate you being here. I just wanted to show you a couple of these videos from this campaign event. I'll wrap up the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe down below. Also drop a like on the video and comment. Let me know what you think about all this. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.